Hey guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom. I thought I would do a quick cooking video today because I'm about to start dinner and I thought I would just film it. So this is sort of like a two-part thing. So I love the Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe recipe. I've been making it for years. So earlier today, I was kind of craving like a pasta bake, which I've done several pasta bake videos here on my channel. They're all linked in my cooking playlist. But I thought I would kind of marry the two together. So I thought I would do a Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe pasta bake. So pretty much what a pasta bake is, if you don't know, because I know there's a lot of people even in real life that I've talked to that had never heard of it. It's essentially like a casserole kind of thing. So I'm gonna pretty much just make the Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe, but instead of serving it on like rolls or bread, I'm going to mix it in with some cooked pasta. I'm gonna use elbow noodles, but you can use any kind of pasta that you like. And then I'm just mix in some cheddar cheese and then I bake it. So it's sort of exactly what it sounds like, a baked pasta cheesy dish with the Sloppy Joe incorporated in. So to make the Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe, I tweak it a little bit. I will leave the link to her exact recipe down below. I'm only mentioning her because I like to give credit where credit's due, and that's where this whole concept for the Sloppy Joe came from. She uses a few different ingredients than I do. But it's essentially the same concept, and this is a way that I've been making it for years. So you're going to need ground beef. You can also use ground turkey if you don't like beef or your family doesn't eat beef, or if you don't have beef and you have turkey, you could substitute ground turkey, but I've got ground beef. This is a little over a pound. You're going to need some garlic. You can use the kind in the jar like this, and of course you can use fresh. Some ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot. You can also just use Tabasco sauce. Chili sauce, you can also use chili powder. I think she uses chili powder instead of chili sauce. Brown sugar, a bell pepper. You're going to use about half of an onion. I'm also going to use half of this bell pepper in here. The recipe that I have linked below is for 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm using 1, that's why I'm going to use half a pepper and half an onion. I think her recipe version calls for a whole because she's using 2 pounds of ground beef. Salt and pepper, crushed red pepper flakes. If you don't like heat or spice at all, you can omit this step. And then some butter. I'm not going to use the whole stick. I'm going to use more like 2 tablespoons. But I just have this stick of butter here because I needed butter for this. So I'm going to get the meat Sloppy Joe mixture going right now. I'm not going to go too in depth with it because again, I have the recipe link below in case you want to check it out and make it yourself. But I will show some of the process. And while the meat mixture is going, I'm going to do the noodles. I'm going to get a pot boiling with some water so I can get the noodles cooking at around the same time. And then I will show you, of course, the process, how I bring it all together and how it looks at the end. It's going to be super good. I already know it, and just keep on watching. All right, so I'm going to start off by browning my beef. You can do the same with turkey. You're just going to brown it up. I'm just using my spoon to break it up. I'm going to cook this, drain the fat, and then I'm going to add all of the other ingredients to make the Sloppy Joe Sloppy Joe. And then over on the next burner, I just have a large pot with salted water coming to a boil or waiting to come to a boil. And then I have my pasta ready to drop in. This is about 3/4 of a pound, but of course you can adjust it plus or minus to the size of your family. Alright, so the ground beef is cooked. I have it draining in this colander. What I do is just put a bowl underneath and see all that fat that you don't want in your meat. So with turkey, if it's a lean turkey, you probably won't need to do this, but I always do it with beef, and I always just drain it in the sink, and I just sort of work it around. It gets all the grease out, or as much as it possibly can, and you always want to put something underneath because you don't ever want the grease going down your sink. So I've got that going on. I've got my onion, half an onion and half the bell pepper diced up. I put the 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan, and now I'm just going to add the pepper and the onion to saute up a little bit in the butter, and then add the meat back in and then make the sauce. Alright, so I have all of the ingredients in here, and I just put it on low and kind of let this simmer. I just dropped my pasta a couple minutes ago, so I'm just going to wait for this to cook, and we're going to bring it all together. Pasta is done, Sloppy Joe had simmered and is done, so now I'm going to combine these two things, and throw it in this baking dish. So let me go ahead and add them together. All right, so I've got my baking dish sprayed with cooking spray. I'm gonna add in the mixture. It smells literally amazing. And you wanna spread it all out in an even layer. It smells so good. I could just probably eat it like this. You probably just could eat it like this and it would be really good. But I like doing the pasta bakes because it gets, like, the noodles get like crispy on the edges and the flavors just come together, and then the cheese just takes it to a whole other level. I'm trying to get this even so it bakes correctly. So I've got sharp shredded cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna go ahead while this is still nice and hot and just top this whole thing with the sharp cheddar. Sorry if you guys can hear background noise. I've got my washer going, my dryer going, my husband and son are downstairs playing right now, so I gotta film these videos when I have the opportunity to. I actually didn't even plan on filming this. I kind of just was like, why not? So I have a good amount of cheese on top here. And then I also have this random, it's from a Home Chef box that we ordered, I don't know, a few months ago. It's a panko breadcrumb packet. So I'm actually gonna just add this panko right on top of the cheese because why not? And it'll give it like a crispy, it'll mix with the cheese and make like a crispy little crust. So let me open this and get this on top and I'll show you what it looks like before it goes in the oven. All right, so the panko I sprinkled all over the top of the cheese. It's already starting to get kind of melty. And the last thing I'm gonna do before I put it in the oven, this is totally optional, is I'm just gonna drizzle the pan with a little bit of EVOO. This is actually a extra light one. So it's a very light tasting olive oil. Obviously, that's probably a better bet than like a deeper, richer one. But I have like a darker olive oil and a lighter one like this that I like to use for like dressings and stuff, or marinades. But this I'm just gonna drizzle like really lightly all over the top. And it's just gonna form like a crust between the cheese, the panko, and the olive oil. And it's gonna be really good. So I'm gonna cover this with foil. I'm gonna bake this in a preheated 350-degree oven. I'll do 20 minutes with the foil, and then I'll take the foil off and do the last 10 minutes without the foil just to brown the cheese up a little bit. And of course, I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so here is how it turned out. It smells amazing. We're gonna dig in for dinner. I will link the recipe down below for the sloppy joes, and I'll just put a little notation of the measurements that I used for the pasta. I hope you enjoyed this cooking video. I do have a lot of pasta specific cooking videos in my playlist, along with a big huge variety of other videos as well, in case you want to check that out and you're looking for more recipe ideas. And I will see you in my next video.